Hey everyone, the name is Eric Thor, and I wonder, do you agree with me? I think we've lost the ability to be human beings in our desire to be successful, in our desire to be good workers, and in our desire of money and wealth. And I wonder, how did this happen, and when did this happen, and how can we get our humanity back if it happened, right? Now, you might say, I'm a logical type of person. I don't care about people. I don't care about emotions. I don't care about feelings. All I care about is status, work, success, increasing skills, and learning and improving as a person. That's what my goal is, and that's why I'm here. But I believe that your quest started earlier. You have a job that is more important than your day job. You got that job when you were born. Your primary job, your number one job, is to be a human being. Now, how can you be a human being? Well, the best thing about this job is that it's the easiest job you could possibly have. You need no qualifications, no skills, no real abilities. All you need is to be. And this is the art we forgot in the pursuit of success. When we go to work, we often put on a mask that hides our authentic nature, who we really are. Instead, we put on the job role or job description. We become the data analyst or the product manager or the CEO. And that's who we are, and that's the image we present to our coworkers. Our coworkers might not even get to see or experience who we really are, how we would be with a friend or with a family member. They only see us from this job description and how we are performing according to this job description. That means that we have certain expectations and norms. These are social, cultural things that we put on, right? CEO has to be decisive and combative and fierce and confident. Product manager has to be good at communication and managing projects and writing PowerPoints. There's a lot of expectations that come with this role, right? And how you're supposed to be as a person, but you're not supposed to be a person. That's forgotten. And I feel like when you get a job description, being a person should be the number one requirement, but it's also an implicit thing. It should just be there. We should just realize that's how we should be. That's who we are. And that's the number one reason we were hired, because we are human beings and because of the values and the feelings and the relationships that come from being human. Recently, I read a book, How to Know a Person, and it talked about how we've changed over the last century and the last decades, really. Since 1966, our values have shifted drastically. We, instead of trying to find a meaningful job or to find meaning or to have a good relationship with our family, nowadays the number one goal of most people today is to have a high salary. And when we think about how we raise our kids, the number one thing we expect of our kids, the number one demand we put on them in school is not to be human beings, it's to be and to achieve high results on STEM tests and IQ tests. We are testing our kids to death with all these things and keeping them studying from the moment they wake up to the moment they go to bed. In fact, kids don't even get to play anymore. The most natural thing we associate with being kids, so they don't get that anymore, Children in the past used to have a lot of time to play and be outside and enjoy life, but nowadays we replace that with work or with computer screens. And these screens, of course, are a replacement. It's entertainment and amusement, easy entertainment, where play is something that demands a lot more from us. Play demands us to be engaged and to interact with the world, while entertainment just requires us to be passive consumers. People that just sit and listen. And of course, that's the number one thing that we request from kids today, to be still, sit and listen. That's what we expect from them in school, and that's what we expect from them as parents. So once again, we've forgotten the art of being human. How did it happen? Why did it happen? When did it happen? Well, I think It started and has been going on since the 80s, and I think it's fascination and obsession that has emerged with efficiency and effectiveness. We are so determined to squeeze out as much productivity as possible from human beings that we don't even realize what that productivity is for. Now, you might say that I am going against or I'm criticizing the amount of success we've created today. We have built an amazing society. We built efficient, high-speed railways, and we have managed to make buses arrive and appear on time and leave on time. And we managed to buy and create amazing inventions, telephones, all those things, the internet, right? We built these amazing apps. Now, against all that technology, against all that progress, and I'm trying to get us back to the medieval era when people were just living in ignorance and all those things, right? So here I want you to think about this one more second, because that's not my point. I think that technological progress and skill and competences are amazing, and I think you need skill to be able to really enjoy life. You do need to know how to do things in order to enjoy things fully. It's as simple as knowing how to cook a good meal makes you enjoy food more, right? The thing is, though, why do we want to be good at things? Why do we want to be successful? Why do we want to have a high-paying job? Well, it's of course about the qualities that we imagine with this. And here, most people would say that, yeah, I know that money does not make people happy, but I believe that money would make me happy. And I believe that I'm the exception to the rule. And I believe that for me, money is genuinely the thing that is standing in the way of my happiness. And I would ask you then, when you think that, if you think that, I would argue, to which extent do you feel limited by a lack of relationships in your daily life? To which extent do you feel like a lack of relationships is making you unhappy? How much does it impact you to not feel like you can talk with your coworkers or colleagues? How does it impact you to feel like you don't have a close family relationship? How does it impact you knowing that you don't have a deep and fulfilling relationship with a partner or a best friend? Money is a means to an end, but to what end? Do we know what we're trying to achieve with it? Do we know what we're trying to get from it? Trying to get more money, it can often get you to feel like in order to get money, I have to compromise the very things I want to achieve with money. So if you're trying to have a happy life, if you're trying to have good relationships, if you're trying to enjoy all that life has to offer, you might think, well, I need money to do that, but in order to get money, I need to be less happy. I need to have less relationships. I need to have, less of these things. So if your means are not aligned with your why, with your goal, you're going to notice a cutoff there. So you're going to get everything that you are trying to achieve. You're going to get that mean, but you're not going to get what you're trying to get from that mean. So your how and your why has to be aligned, and this is where ethics comes in. Having ethics and morality is not so much about just aligning with some kind of Christian moral or trying to follow the Bible or trying to do what your parents told you. Having ethics is about what kind of a person you want to be and how you want to feel and how you want to live your life. If you don't have any ethics, or if you don't have any sense of a life philosophy, if you don't know what you're trying to achieve in life or what kind of person you're trying to be, you're going to thump on a lot of principles that you have but don't realize that you have, and you're going to feel bad about yourself as a person. You're going to start feeling a lack of confidence, a lack of self-esteem. You're going to feel like you don't deserve a lot of things. You don't deserve happiness, you don't deserve friends, you don't deserve love, because you don't feel like you're a good person and you don't feel like you're living life the way you should live. So cultivating a core philosophy of life has to be our number one goal. Being humans has to be our number one goal. And the best thing about being human is that it's such an easy thing to be. You can be a human in any situation. When your colleague comes up to you and asks you for help with a work task, you can first try and check in with them. How are you feeling? What's your intention? What's your goal with this? How are you doing? Where does this come from? Like really trying to sit down and get their needs and understand their needs and understand who they are. and what's going on in their life. Are they stressed right now? What are they stressed by? Are they tired? Are they anxious? Are they angry? What's going on? Like this number one check-in I think you should do before you start any conversation with people, because you gotta have that clear for you. For what reason? Why is this person reaching out to me? Why are they short in their emails? Why are they snapping at me if I made a mistake? Why are they upset? Where does this come from? And understanding their human side, understanding, oh yeah, they must have a difficult time right now. They must have a lot of pressure on them. They must have a lot of work. They must be struggling with something. And what are they struggling with? What's going on? This comes down to telling stories and co-creating stories. A lot of stories we tell together, right? So all you have to really do, like one magical word that journalists learn when they are interviewing people is, tell me more about that. And then what happened? And then what happened after that? All you have to say is, and then what happened? Get people to tell stories, get people to open up, get people to share. So what happened at work? Who came up to you? Who asked this from you? Where did this come from? Where are you going with this? And then what you're gonna do? Have those stories that get people to tell stories, because telling stories is an aspect of being human, and it's an aspect of being alive, and it's such an easy thing to do. It's such a better question than how are you. We go to how are you, or what's up, and that's fine, but we can't stop there. And I think the best question is really, what's happening in your life right now? Or at what crossroads are you right now? Or what decisions are you trying to make right now? Or where are you stuck at the moment? And what do you need help with? Where are you going? These kind of questions, because they get people to tell stories. Ask open-ended questions, because they are more interesting than closed questions. But most of all, even if you don't ask any questions at all, just take the time to be present in the environment you are, to look around you, to check in with your body, with your feelings, and with your emotions. And do that before you start the task, because otherwise you'll unconsciously be ruled by emotions that you don't even know that you have, and they'll still be there. We are still human beings, even if we are trying so hard not to be human beings right now. And the first step is acceptance. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all in the next video.